Good evening and welcome to A Couple of Marks. I am Johnny Mark.
And I am DJ Mark.
We are marking out live
To tape.
in the Couple of Marks studio here in beautiful Arlington, Texas. All right, so one of the other exploded.
Oh.
In today's show, we are going to the breakdown
In your house.
of all the top promotions and where they are now.
We are going to talk about the kind of return of CM Punk.
And in the main event of the evening, we discuss the revival of and inclusion of vintage pro wrestling aspects into AEW, NWA. The way Cody all week, every week, hot suits.
All kinds of stuff. We're going to get into it and talk about what that means and how we feel about it.
How what came before is affecting us again.
So the breakdown in your house, I just like to call that segment. That was the first pay-per-view I got into. The Attitude Era coming back. I was like, oh, what's this? And then I was like, okay, I love it.
Why are they all crotching their chops?
Yeah, I didn't understand that for a while. I was
Crotch
like,
chop.
what is this? So what is going on in the pro wrestling world?
Well, we've got a new Intercontinental title, not
We do.
champion.
Yeah, not the belt,
Not the
champion,
not a new champion.
but the belt.
The championship. Not a fan. I'm just going to put that out
I don't
there.
really like it. I think it kind of, like I was saying earlier, it sort of feels like it's just another one of those, like, because the titles have all gotten big and gold, and like they very much feel like these like very heavy like belts, and they're made of gold mostly, and
you need another suitcase if you're traveling
Kind of,
with
yeah.
the belt. Yes.
So I think that the IC title is kind of trying to do that.
It looks a little too much like first off a dinner plate,
Yeah.
and also the 24/7 title, which just keep that title the way it looks. Everything else needs to be if it's a different title, it needs to look different.
Yeah, I think that with WWE especially, they do a lot of like, well, the tag titles are the same, the women's titles are the same. And honestly, the only reason that the secondary titles are not the same is because the IC title and the US title have such a storied history. Otherwise, they would just be like WWE mid-card title Raw,
Exactly.
WWE mid-card title SmackDown. Like, it doesn't matter, like, but whatever. I like it when they're different, too.
Oh, I love it when they're different.
That's what I like about the NXT, like, the... Actually, no. I only like that about the North American belt. I mean, I guess the tag belts look different, but like, I feel like the women's belt is just a smaller version of the men's belt. Right?
I feel that way also.
So, and like to the WWE, the women's belt is just a smaller version of the Universal or World Heavyweight belt. Like, they look the same. I don't like that.
Neither do
Whatever.
I do like the way Bray Wyatt did a little magic trick, and all of a sudden his
that's
Universal
because Bray
title is
Wyatt's
blue.
so good.
Yeah.
It just worked, especially for his character. So what else is going on in the WWE? I don't really watch the WWE. I really only watch pay-per-views now.
We are setting up to Survivor Series,
Which will already be done.
by the time you hear this. We what a main event that was!
That
Can you
was
believe
wild.
that thing happened?
Yes,
Wow,
that was nuts.
Insert person's name here. No, we are recording this the Saturday before, so later tonight. NXT War Games, which I think can they still do that? Because I thought MLW had bought those name
No,
rights.
I think it was like WWE let it lapse, and MLW was like yoink.
Yeah.
And then they, I think, worked out some sort of deal where they sold it back to the WWE.
Smart.
Yeah, and I imagine after Cody was like, I'm going to get all these fucking names my dad used to own that y'all don't own anymore.
Although WWE still does Starrcade. We'll get
Yes,
into that later.
which is unfortunate for, I guess, Cody. And because they don't even make it a big deal. It's like
No.
a fucking like glorified house show that happens to be like in the South, I think. Like that's
They
pretty
normally
much it.
keep it in, I think it's in the Georgia area that this year.
I think last year it was in Nashville, but like that's like it's like their like throwaway to the South. They're like, we know we need you. Calm down.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. But no, War Games is tonight. We have 2 War Games, first time ever women's War Games, and then we also have a men's War Games. And then obviously tomorrow Survivor Series. They're just doing the build up to the pay-per-views they do, especially with the big ones, because we have the 3-way matches where we have SmackDown versus NXT versus Raw, which can be a little messy. I think the Survivor Series, especially the team, like the 3 teams, holy shit, that's going to be a car wreck.
You know what I'm more excited for, though? Our annual Wrestle Feast.
Yes.
For those of you who want to start this tradition, by all means, go for it. Hashtag WrestleFeast.
Hashtag WrestleFeast. Look for beautiful pictures.
For Survivor Series every year, we, and obviously they won't be able to do it this year.
No.
But next year, we'll try to do a show before and get this more hyped up. But WrestleFeast, we get fast food from all kinds of places. We bring it together, and we get stuffed on terrible food and watch, in most cases, terrible
Mostly
wrestling.
terrible wrestling, yes. So that's happening in WWE. In New Japan, however, we have the World Tag League, which right now we've got David Finlay and Juice Robinson at 8 points, so they are the leaders. Close second is Ishii and Yoshihashi, which those together are quite funny because Ishii's just so stout and big. And then and then Yano and Colt Cabana, which obviously is the highlight of every night because
they're just like bumping around the ring and doing comedy bits.
Their comedy bits are hilarious, but they're also amazing wrestlers, so they can do it. They're in third place. Actually, there's a 4-way tie, so all these teams are in second place. Yano and Colt Cabana also have 6. Evil and Sonata have 6, and Tenzin and Koshima have 6 points as well. And then we've got a bunch of guys with 4, and then at the very bottom with 2. We've got a couple of young boys, and then we also got Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. So we're building up to the Wrestle Kingdom 2-night affair this year. We've got...
it is 2 nights, right?
Uh-huh. The Junior Tag League, Roppongi 3K, they won again. So they are going to be challenging the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, which are, off the top of my head, I don't remember. I can figure this out, though. But... this is all going to happen at the Wrestle Kingdom January 4th and 5th this year. So that's going to be very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Wrestle Kingdom's always exciting. Like even I swear that's the one event of the year I never miss. Like no. I do not miss. Well, I don't watch it live because it happens at like 2 a.m.
I watched it live this year. I did fall asleep a couple times, but I went back and watched. But it was amazing. It's
because I have to work. Like I think, although what does it look like? When does it fall this year?
I think this year's actually a Friday. Or no, last year was a Friday.
Oh, it's a Saturday and a Sunday. 4th and 5th, right?
Yes.
Well, that might be okay.
We
anyway,
can make
so AEW, what's happening in AEW? They had their Full Gear pay-per-view.
They did.
It was insane.
The lights out main event was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, definitely, because that's something that I want to get into.
Yes.
The Jericho-Cody match was awesome and brutal as well.
Awesome. Oh. And then, oh my God, Cody taking that dive right on the...
so terrifying.
It did not look good.
I cringed. And I was just like, I thought that was going to be bump of the night.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
And then we get MJF throwing in the towel.
Yep, and then turning fucking heel.
I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when it was going to happen.
I'm glad that it happened because he's going to run roughshod over AEW. He's going to be so good as a heel. So I wanted to point out that the Wednesday Night Wars have been a thing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now.
Okay.
NXT has won once, and they just won this last week, the 20th.
Do you think it's because of all the names that came this week?
Yes, absolutely. Because they only won by it was like 893,000 for Dynamite and 916,000 for NXT. And like last week, NXT only had 750,000 and Dynamite had 957,000. So it's like, I think it was because there was a lot of crossover. And you know what? To WWE's credit, they can do that, right?
Without a doubt.
That's something they can do. They have that brand already, but... it wasn't that big of a win, number one. And number two, it was almost like a takeover level event. Not that I'm saying NXT deserved it. It was a good show.
Right.
But, I think it's been interesting that... and not that ratings totally mean, everything anymore.
Right, because almost everybody streams things or they'll watch it later. And then, I'm curious how those numbers even become factors if they do.
So it's interesting. I think it's going to be fun to keep seeing what happens as they try to one-up each other and see if NXT continues its... kind of the independence that it's been known to that's what I liked about it, or if it just becomes essentially another WWE brand, which I hope it doesn't.
I really don't think it will.
I hope so.
But then I think they're also thinking about touring with it now, aren't they? Or no?
They are.
Okay.
I don't know. They'll probably have to run smaller venues for
yes.
it, but it'll probably be more, they won't just run everywhere with it.
Which would be a good idea for WWE also, because I think a lot of times their house shows can be big or too big. We've seen it at the American Airlines Center on a Sunday where they blacked out the entire
Yeah.
top. Like, why would you rent something that
I mean,
big?
I would say that when we saw them at UTA, that was great. I
Yeah,
love that venue
yeah.
for wrestling. It's such a fun venue. I wish more places ran it.
As do I.
In NWA, into the
Into
Power,
the Fire is where Jim Cornette's walking right
It's not going to be, and he will not be at Into the Fire.
now. No.
But it was he got fired because he was a racist.
He said something
Are we
very
surprised
racist.
by that?
No.
I'm not surprised by it either. That man held my flat Daryl
Yeah.
project from another podcast one time. I made myself into a flat Stanley type drawing, and they took me to WrestleMania.
I did.
'Cause
Which is,
couldn't go
I
to
look
the-
back on it, and it's funny because I didn't ask for a picture with Jim Cornette, but I was like, hey, can you please?
Hey man, it's nice to meet you. You're a legend. Can you take a picture of this drawing of my friend with a decapitated head?
And he was in.
He was.
Totally
I
in.
wish I don't even have that picture anymore. I wish it.
Oh, it's on social media.
I wish
somewhere.
I did, but like I'm kind of okay that I don't right now because
Well.
he's also kind of Jim Cornette's been canceled. Is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. I'm not that I'm saying I personally canceled him, but he has been canceled.
My question is because they're not live, so like
so it's not like they didn't hear.
they
about
didn't
it,
have
right?
they had a chance to cut it, but they didn't.
That's fair.
Which is
I
very
also,
curious.
But also, I think that he's done that before. Like, I think I read something like that same line was said in like WWE, like NWA, and like it's like one of his go-to sort of like Bobby the Brain Heenan had some of those go-to.
Right,
lines.
right,
Gorilla
right.
Monsoon had some of those go-to lines.
But they weren't racist.
No, they weren't. That's very true. Maybe that's just because Jim Cornette's a byproduct of the South. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
it's ingrained in him.
But the rest of Power,
Super
I
great,
really
man.
enjoy.
I love
Yes,
it. And
yes.
This I like keep wanting to be like we're going to talk about this later because I think a lot of what I like about NWA Power we kind of have to talk about later.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's good. So we'll touch on MLW real quick and
Okay.
Impact.
Hit it up.
MLW had their Super Fight Saturday Night Super Fight first pay per view, and it couldn't get any like buy race or anything. I hope they did well. But Jacob Fatu defeated LA Park, kept his world title.
Good.
The Von Erichs, Texas Boys, defeated the Dynasty, MJF and Richard Holiday, and they won
That's
the
unfortunate.
tag titles. Yeah, but
I'm just not a fan.
I'm
of
not
Von
a
Erichs.
huge fan
You know what?
either, but they're growing on me a little.
I know we'll
bit.
get crucified being in the state of
really
Texas
will.
and the DFW
We're
area.
probably never allowed at anything again now. They're
Well, that's
like-
fine.
We got canceled.
They're not from here.
Thanks,
you know
Jim
what?
Cornette.
They're
They're from
Hawaiian.
Hawaii.
They're Hawaiians,
They are Hawaiians,
and I don't feel bad about it.
They're Texas. They're Hawaiians by way of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
King Mo is going to be in MLW now.
Is he?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. He definitely has
I
like
didn't think
pro
he could-
wrestling.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Mo from Men on a Mission.
No, I'm pretty sure that
He was never
guy-
king though. That was Mabel.
Nah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, that's
Tom-
good though. King Mo. Yes. No, Serge and I met him, and when he was at some local fights.
So he'll be there. Tom Lawler re-upped his.
Oh, he resigned.
He
All
re-signed.
right. How many more years?
I don't know,
Oh, okay.
but he's back, and that's good. I think Tom Lawler's a good. I think he's good for what MLW does. And again, I'll talk about this later. I was just thinking about that. Impact Wrestling, real quick. What is going on with them?
We've got a new world heavyweight champion. His name is Sammy
Sami
Callahan. Thumbs up, thumbs down. OVE, baby, all day. And that's the only new champion, but number one contender. It's going to be the main event here in,
Their
I think
show
it's
in Dallas.
Hard to Kill, I believe was the
Hard
name.
to Kill at the Bomb Factory here in Dallas.
Is it the Bomb Factor? I thought it
is
was
the Bomb
Gillies.
Factory. I literally just looked it up today.
Oh, that's
I was
interesting.
I was shocked as well.
I've never seen wrestling.
I haven't either. It'll be interesting. I mean, although I'm not going, but
Yeah, I think you should go.
I might go. But anyway, that'll be the main event. Crazy main event.
No,
I'd
I
like
didn't
to
even
see
say
it.
who they're facing yet. The first time ever intergender for the World Heavyweight title, we've got Tessa Blanchard versus Sammy Callahan.
That's gonna be wild, man.
Yeah. Oh,